frequencies. Love the journey. Our culture is our cure. We live in that liberation lifestyle. We as African people are the power source of the planet. Our children are our greatest investment. They are spiritual giants that come here with a divine purpose. The only way to predict our future is to create it. This is Queen Taese on the Liberated Minds frequency.
All right, here we go. Greetings, everyone. This is Queen Taese, the Queen of Black Homeschooling, here on the Liberated Minds frequency. And you know how we do. Pew, we take it out of the stratosphere. And today we have an amazing, incredible sister here who, you know, I just fell in love with when I started talking with her. Just the energy was right. And, you know, she had a product that I have been looking for a long time. So I just was super excited. I want to introduce to you Sister Ameerah Bello, who will be a part of this monumental 2020 9th annual Liberated Minds Black Homeschool and Education Expo. You know, it's a long time. We got to get it out. Yeah. I'm excited to have you here, Ameerah.
Thank you.
And I just got some juicy stuff for y'all today. So for those of y'all who are really concerned about the development of math with your children and their love of math, I know you are going to be in for a treat with this sister right here because, you know, she is revolutionizing for our community. Right. Something that is so simple and basic that has been used for thousands of years. She is bringing it back. She is re-Africanizing, bringing it forward where we can now reclaim our true divine selves through the genius of the junior counter and the mathematician junior. Did I get it right?
You did. You're on it.
We have just had a great conversation and I just said, you know what? I'm just excited to have you as a virtual vendor this year. And I just want you to first share a little bit about yourself so people can know who you are.
Okay, so I am equally as excited to be here. And this is my year that a lot of things that I thought about, I contemplated, I sat on, I just did nothing with. This is the year that I actually started to kind of make myself complete a thought or a dream. So I'm here because I wasn't about dream big. Some people dream big, but other people, we need to just complete the dream or follow up on the dream. So part of me being here is not necessarily the product being the dream, but my dream and my goal for my children, I have 8-year-old twins, when they were 3, was for them to be confident in math. I wasn't looking for math genius. I wasn't looking for, you know, these kids who are robotic. I was looking for something that I lacked all throughout my academic career. I was scared.
Wow.
I thought when I saw math, I cringed. When I heard about math, I cringed. If I couldn't use a calculator, I was scared. And this went on throughout college. So naturally, you know, we're drawn to the things that we either fear, right? Those things we pull towards us. So one of my fears was, oh my gosh, my girls are going to feel the same way about math. And I wanted to give them a voice and I wanted to be aware. And I, you know, wanted to fill the gaps that my parents weren't able to fill because they were putting in me what probably they feared. And it wasn't. So in doing that, I started just looking all over, like, who is teaching their kids the best? Who's doing it right? Who's doing it right across the board? Let me find out what they're doing, and whatever they're doing, I can do it too. And I kept coming across these YouTube videos of these super young kids just doing this mental math, and I was like, that's amazing.
That's it. That's what attracted me when we had that conversation, because that is a concern. There are, and it's a natural gravitation when there's things that we didn't do well in as parents, then we tend to pull away from that a lot of times with our children, and we don't encourage it as much because we don't feel confident in that. So that is, I commend you for that, for saying, you know, instead of pulling away, I want to go further down that pathway so I can make sure that my children don't have the same problems that I had, you know, in math. So I just commend you for that overall. And, you know, with that being said, about a year ago, as I shared with you with our conversation, you know, my sister and I were online, we were researching different math techniques, especially mental math techniques for our children. And one of the greatest ones we found were, we saw a lot of, like you said, the Indian culture, what they would do with their fingers. I thought it was absolutely incredible, amazing. So we began to search for resources in the abacus math. And so with that being said, it was an endless search. You know, we really did not find what we wanted culturally, which was key, because we work with a homeschool of over 50 families, and our foundation is our culture. And although we know that this comes from our culture, we really wanted a reflection of the educators, right, to reflect that same concept and principle. So when I talked to you, I was just like, you have what? I mean, it's just, I'm like, you don't understand what this means to me, because, you know, our children often are last when it comes to, and not just our children, but this country, period.
Exactly.
Math, right? So giving them an opportunity to be confident and competent at the same time and feel good about math. So, so anyway, continue what you're saying. I just wanted to make that point real quick.
But you hit it, you hit it, because that's what led me here. So you see the great videos, and then you find out that, wow, this abacus, this mental math is a great way. Let me go check it out and teach myself. And what we find is nothing. So we go to like the great guru of retail, Amazon, and Amazon, and you don't find anything. And then you look some more, and you look at some secondary or other websites, and you find material that was probably made for families who have some familiarity, like they just jump in there, and you're still stuck with, like, I have these props, you're still stuck with like, what is this, right? This is like, this is intimidating. It was intimidating for me. So, and then you say, well, let me get something cuter and smaller, and you say, well, I'm gonna buy one of these, and then you're still like, well, I don't know, do I start with what do I do with this? So, you know, and each of these rods are meaningful. And what I ended up doing, like at home, figuring out 3D printing, was taking this that takes years to learn, and let's break it off into one piece, one part. It's the same system, the same design, the same fingering, the same everything, but it's less intimidating. And it just, you know, so I thought, there's no way that I'm thinking of this, right? And my husband's like, no, you're onto something. I was like, nah, not me.
Wow.
You know,
even it's a lot more simplicity.
Right. Yeah. But it's so, you know, just let's take something that is already kind of simple, but it seems complex to the person who unfamiliar with it, and let's simplify it. And when you do that, then a parent would want to work with their child with this more so than that. So that was my thing, and let's just break the thing apart. So I broke it apart, because sometimes that's what we need to do. We need to break things apart to fully understand them, then we can put them back together, and then we have a strong, I think they call it gestalt, if I learned back. And that's how we learn, and that's how we process better. So that was my idea, and I call it the junior counter. Why? Because I really, really, really encourage parents here in America to just start their kids young. You have a 3-year-old, you have a 4-year-old, you have a 2-year-old. I started when my girls were 3, because that's what they're doing in other countries where they're not mentally programmed to wait.
I love that. I love that, because I'm always a component of age. I mean, stage over age.
Right.
You know, we get them started early, then they will, you know, they'll enjoy that, because it's not actually giving them a symbol which really has no meaning in terms of context and being able to identify what does this mean, you know, until they get a little bit older and they can say, okay, number 5 represents, you know, 5 items, but before that, it's just memorization.
It's just rote.
So that eliminates that piece. You have something like really, really genius here, because it allows for our children to understand math from a practical standpoint.
A practical standpoint. And here they're understanding math from this practicality, right? They're understanding it in a way that both sides of the mind, because I had to dig and see, like, well, what makes this abacus work, right? Like, really, what is it? And the fact that there's so many components that we hear about. Everybody's heard about muscle memory, right? You know, back in the day when you didn't remember your grandma's phone number, that if you looked at a screen, if you looked at the keypad, you would remember the motion of the number.
Yes, the pattern.
So
Absolutely.
if you apply that to patterns of beads and you apply that to math, and then, you know, adding 39 to 58 to 42 simply becomes a pattern. So your child no longer has to remember these algorithms of carrying over the one and doing this. So now they just know that it's a function of moving beads. And when the mental part comes in is when your child, just after practicing for some weeks or even some months, depending upon how often, then the movement of the bead becomes a mental image that children now do. So now, this becomes meaningful. This position, they don't need to know 3 or what 3 means. They just know this motion is meaningful. If you say 3 minus 3, they know taking away 3 is meaningful. So
that's
it
amazing.
simplifies the whole, and when you simplify the fundamentals. I'm a teacher. I've been an educator for 17 years, and I've seen the faux pas of our public school systems. I see it, and that was another thing that drove that fear. I'm not going to let my kids be being in the system. But when I saw how simple, I'm like, that's why they're killing us.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. And math should start off simplistic and just build, you know. So now they're changing around. One year is this kind of math, that kind of math, and it's all the same thing. However, you know, the different techniques that they're using, and the children are pulling their hairs out, and the parents are pulling their hair out, and it's like, why are we deviating from just the basics? You know, and it's the basics that extend out into the more advanced math. So what I really want to know is, what was it like for your children? Because I know you have 2 8-year-old twin daughters, correct?
Yes.
And what was that like in terms of, when did you start introducing it to them? And then what was that experience like?
They were 3.
Okay.
And they knew nothing else, right? They knew nothing else. And one of I read, it was in Malcolm Gladwell's book. He says that in the language, people are able to better understand math because of the language, right? So we say 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. After 10 is 11. 11 has no meaning. In other languages, 11 is 10-1 and 12 is 10-2. So I taught my daughters how to count wrong, right? I taught them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-1, 10-2, 10-3. Because if the language has the math within it, right, it makes it easier to comprehend. So my children knew no better. They knew.
I love that. I love that. And that's African math, you know.
Absolutely.
So it is, once again, our culture is our cure, y'all. You know, it goes everything that is just genius and brilliant always comes back to us in some kind of way, shape, or form. And so the abacus is one of the oldest, you know, tools for math, as we spoke about on the phone. And it is an opportunity to, you know, have our young children really enjoying math, enjoying the experience, not feeling pressured by the learning, not even know that they're learning, right? That it's just something that they're loving and enjoying. And I think that creates a love of learning versus, you know, us trying to force information and memorization on them.
Exactly.
What about the older children? Is this good for, tell me about that. Can older children use this as well?
So older children definitely can. So we're talking about starting off with younger kids and having this be their norm, having this be their way. And then when you have older children, that's like if you have an older child and they already learned a way of doing fractions, for example, and you say, hey, let me teach you how to do it this way. So now they already have a learning and you're teaching them an alternative. So for your older kids, you're teaching them an alternative. So the alternative would be a way of showing them how to do it differently. Would I strongly encourage teaching the abacus to older children? I would, simply because sometimes we don't really know where the strengths of our children are. And the way that we teach math typically in America are for children who are really strong using the left side of their brains, right? So if you have like a really artsy and artistic child and, you know, math is not really working for them, right? You may want to try this as another strategy because now we're engaging another part of the brain. So even though you're fundamental. So I work with high schoolers, and it saddens me and it scares me that our kids think that when you discuss and talk about math, that they think bringing out a calculator is the answer. Because they don't have some of the fundamentals in terms of calculation, the fundamentals in terms of multiplication. So I do think that if you have the time to take the time and demonstrate and go through this with older children, it's something worth doing, and particularly if you have a child struggling in math. It's called an alternative, and you will find that this works for them. And for families who are like, this sounds great, but I still don't know how to use one. That's the reason why my workbooks are here. The workbooks are available. Like, we start from ground zero, level 1. As you said earlier, you looked all over for resources, right? And you couldn't find any. So neither could I, which is why I ended up making, a workbook, a curriculum. And it's not just like, here are some problems, do them. I have pages of explainers and demonstrations and all of these things for families just starting to allow you to help your child. And even as parents see and work the abacus, and I hear this all the time, they're like, I didn't know it was so easy.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't know.
And parents are probably learning too.
Absolutely.
Still have some strengthening to do along the way. And it looks like something so simple and basic, but sometimes, like you said, you don't know where the gaps are.
Right.
So you may be really proficient in one area, and how do we determine, like, something like this may actually strengthen some of our other areas without even realizing as we teach it to our children. So with the books, are there books of different levels, or is it just one basic book? And how can people get your book? Give us your information as well.
So the book is available 2 places. The book is available on our website, mathjr.org. And the book is about to go live on Amazon. As a matter of fact, it's going live this weekend.
And it's about to be on the Liberated Minds virtual vendor marketplace.
And it's going to be
through, which will be on our Liberated Minds Expo website. We are working on it now, little by little. She will be up there this week, probably on Monday. So please feel free. I want to encourage everybody to visit the website, which is www.liberatedmindsexpo.com. And there will be over 40 master classes for $25. I want to stress that. So we specifically made it affordable because we know with everything going on right now, it's number one, the finances for a lot of people are not, tight the way they should be because of everything that has occurred. But also, we need this information now more than ever. Everything that we've experienced over the last few months, and really this has been a buildup to this point. And so if we don't know now what we need to do in terms of educating our own and being in the driver's seat of that process and that experience, having our culture at the core of our children's educational process. We have to breathe life into the curriculums and make it holistic for our children. So like this is such a great tool. I'm excited, that it is here at the expo. And, we had just a power conversation of all of the possibilities. There should be no fear. Our children should be moving with pure confidence, power, strength, just knowing who they are, standing in who they are, because they are brilliant, they're geniuses. Everything that has been created by our people. And so I just want to thank you. I want to encourage everybody to like our, hey, there you go, greetings. I want to encourage, that's what we live for. That's what we live for, y'all.
That's right.
I want to encourage everybody to join our Instagram, which is liberated_minds_expo. We also have the Facebook under the Liberated Minds Black Homeschool and Education Expo. My personal website is queenthais.com. I do a little bit of everything. I really am here at service to the community. I want to, help train parents. I also do curriculum development, speaking, just a host of things. And this just falls right in alignment when we talk about the liberation lifestyle. That is my new phrase. This is the lifestyle, right? Not a one and done, not in the morning and in the afternoon. No, we did
Right.
around the clock.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I just give them your. Are you on Instagram or Facebook or any social media where they can find you?
I am. I'm on. You can find me on Instagram at Math Junior, Mathematician Junior. Also on Facebook, Mathematician Junior. I'm sorry, I can't remember which one has a JR and which one has a Junior. But look for a logo that looks like this.
Nice, nice.
So absolutely, please visit. Please feel free, reach out, ask me any questions. I love to talk to parents about this. I love to talk to them about math skills and just be on this journey together.
Yes, and I think confidence, the confidence that we give each other, it's important to have someone who, when you're interested in something, that can really talk to you about, eliminating our own fears and the value of, knowing how to use it. Because I like the way you said, I'm willing to take the time, just reach out.
Absolutely.
I can help walk you through it, that I'm here, because we are our greatest resource.
That's right.
And we have to support each other, and that's what this expo is about. Yes. We have families that will be logging. It's our first virtual expo. So I'm excited. At first I was a little feeling away, I've got out of my feelings, but it is allowing us to touch more lives. We have people that will be logging in so far from about, I think, 8 different countries.
Oh, nice.
We are coming together. It is a vibration. It is a frequency. And we are going to create this reality. Like they're talking about their new world order, where we're working on our new world order.
Pan-African homeschooling.
So, that's right. That's right. So whether you homeschool or not, know that you have power, and that all of our children are great, they're brilliant, they're geniuses, and we have to detoxify from our own indoctrination. Right. Let the fears go, the areas that we feel not as strong in, we want to make sure that we're diving into those areas, because those are areas we need healing in, right? And we don't want to pass those same pathologies on to our children. We want to eliminate, so we can create generational wealth, in a real way, in a holistic way. So our culture is our cure. I thank you so much, Ameerah, for joining us. Please check out Mathematician Junior on the Liberated Minds Virtual Expo website. And we will be, we'll have a lot of great goodies. I know we have a lot of resources every year, and they just keep on coming in. So we're going to be adding them up there. Encourage your children to be great in math. For those who are feeling a little bit fearful, let's find different creative ways to relieve that, because math is the universal language. No matter where you go in the world, it is the universal language. So it has allowed us to be the builders of our planet, right? The astrology, all of the things that the Dogon taught us, all of it is based on math. And farming, agriculture. We just did a presentation with Baba Uriah talking about math infused in that. It is really a core principle of how we live. It is the form of order and structure, and everything that makes the universe what it is. So I just want to thank you. I want to ask everyone to please subscribe to our channel, because we are going to be having some incredible information. Y'all know I say out of the stratosphere. Liberated Minds is Queen Taese on the Liberated Minds Frequency. I'm sending love to you, Ameerah, and to everyone out there. Join us. June, I didn't give the date. That's right. June 26th through 28th. June 26th through 28th. You can go to liberatedmindsexpo.com. Register. It is $25 this week. Next week, it will be going up to $35. So, all of it is a great price anyway. But, have the opportunity to get your ticket early, get that early bird ticket. Tell your friends, tell everyone you know. There is, like I said, over 40 master classes. We have master classes for our children ages 0 to 10 and 11 to 17, our Watoto Village and Sankofa Scholars. And it's no rinky-dink classes, y'all. They're learning about real estate. They're learning about herbs. They're learning about science. It's some real deal stuff for our children. So we're adding workshops and master classes every single day. And as we get closer, we're a little less than 2 weeks out now. We'll just continue to be, sharing information about some of the things that will be there. So give thanks once again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Please make sure you visit her website, okay? All right, much love, Ameerah, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Absolutely. Bye-bye.
See you later.